Asking me to speak. This is definitely not something that I am comfortable with necessarily all the time, but I was taught, like, always be willing. If you're asked, it's because people wanna hear it, so you gotta say yes. Um, First of all, I'm Dakota, I'm an alcoholic, I'm also a drug addict. I'm a lot of things, actually. I like a lot of things that make me feel really good or different. Um, let's see. My sobriety date is July 14th of 2020. So in July, it'll be 2 years, and that is mind-boggling to me to think I've been removed from the love of my life for almost 2 years. Um, I got sober through treatment, which I don't know this group. A lot of people where we're from are very anti-treatment, um, and I really don't care because it takes what it takes. Like, it took what it took for me. It took 5 felonies for me to figure out that there might be a problem. Um, I've been in treatment 18 months or 19 months? A long time, very long time. I don't know if I would have been able to do it without treatment though. But anyway, my drug of choice is Xanax and Benadryl. That might sound really weird to y'all, and that's all right. But anything that makes me feel different does just fine. Um, I don't know. My program doesn't look like everyone's. It honestly doesn't look like a lot of people's, but it works for me. Like it doesn't have to look like somebody that's got 30 years. Now, obviously, I want that. Therefore, I try to do a couple of things they do, you know? But anyway, all right. I was born in Arlington, Texas, January 15th, 1997. So I am 25. I am like a quarter of a century old. I didn't really plan on being an adult. Like, and so people ask me what I want to be when I grow up, and I never really had an answer. And I'm still like really, my counselor and I are working on that. Like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, and I'm kind of grown up. So, like, I should really figure that stuff out right now. Um, but I really didn't think I was going to live this long. And I don't know if I had thought the drugs were going to kill me or if I was going to kill me. I don't know. I just never thought, I never pictured myself being a productive adult. Um, and I still struggle with that. Right now, I'm working the NA program. I've worked the AA steps. I have a sponsor. She's got a sponsor, and she's got a sponsor. They scare me. They terrify me, but that's good. I need that. Let's see. The first time I don't think I drank first. I think the first time I ever did anything, I did pain pills. I think I took them from my grandparents, and that was a very popular thing for me to do because it was pretty easy to get to. And they thought the world of me, so I could convince them that, like, like, they're old, they just took a couple too many. They're not gonna know, and they didn't for a long time, or at least they never said anything to me because I don't think they wanted to believe that. Um, and then I took my first benzo my junior year of high school, and it terrified me. My mom took me to the hospital. She was gonna have my stomach pumped, and I was like, "What?" And they asked me if I was trying to kill myself, and I was like, "Okay, I don't wanna do that." I did not like the consequences that came with it. So I didn't touch anything. I got to college, and then I drank for the first time. I was never a big partier. I was a straight A girl in high school. I was also very, like, this town is small, but, like, the high school I went to, I graduated with, like, 92 people or something like that. I was a closeted gay, like, I that was not something I could have done in high school. Um, Very country. It was in Gilbert, South Carolina. Very country. Let's see. I went to college at Lander University, which was like an hour from Gilbert. We ended up moving up there my senior year of high school, so I stayed with my grandparents in Gilbert to finish it out because I was like, I'm not moving to a bigger high school for 6 months. That's kind of when my pill use kind of rocketed. Like, I started taking all of their pain pills and not caring that they were just gone. Not like the whole take a couple here or there, they won't notice. Like, they're gonna notice if it's empty, right? They know it wasn't empty. And I just didn't care, and they didn't question me. So therefore I just kept doing it. I never had any real consequences. Honestly, I don't think I had any real consequences until I had consequences. Um, let's see. So I went to a Halloween, I'll never forget this. I will always remember my first drink of alcohol for some reason, probably because I'm an alcoholic. I went to a Halloween party in college, and I knew a lot of the people that went to Lander also had graduated at Gilbert, which wasn't helpful because I was already comfortable. And I drank, and I don't remember much of that night. I never drank casually, like, it wasn't to, "Oh, I'm gonna have a few first of all, I was never one of those people that was just gonna have a few margaritas with the girls because I didn't like girls. I didn't like hanging out with girls like that. I always wanted to be hanging out with the guys because they were less dramatic and we liked the same thing, so it made a lot of sense. And I got very, very drunk. My parents were out of town, and my sister was at home alone, and one of my friends and her boyfriend drug me up, like, these 15 stairs in our backyard, like, from our pool up to the, um, door, and it's locked. Everything's locked. I don't know where my keys are. I don't even know where my car's at, and they're banging on the door, and my sister comes, and I'll never forget it, in just, like, a T-shirt, and she looks so confused, and she's terrified. I'm like, "Don't tell mom. She can't know." So go upstairs. I remember waking up. I remember jumping on my bed and then throwing up immediately, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is ridiculous." And then next thing I remember is throwing up underwater. Like, I cannot explain to you that feeling, and thank God I've never experienced it since. But I remember waking up underwater throwing up because I had gotten in the bath. I thought that was a great idea. Um, After that, I did not drink much because I was like, "Okay, that was terrifying." I didn't like I liked everything but the hangover. So, for those of y'all that have dabbled in both forms, and like I get told a lot, Xanax is just a pill form of alcohol, but for me, it didn't have the hangover that alcohol had. I felt groggy, but it was not like the pounding, like, I can't even eat. No, it was just like I was just coming down from a high. So that's what I started doing. And I thought it was really normal for a very long time. Like, my sister and I would get them together, and, like, looking back now, I'm like, "That's so sick." Like, that's just so sick. But she thought it was a phase. Everyone goes through a phase in school. They're, like, experimenting. That's kinda how I was with girls, like, experimenting, trying to figure that out. Um, I remember at the beach, my mom found I had them in an Altoids can because, like, those rattle just like mints, so no one's gonna look except for my mom, probably because 'cause I'm an addict, but she found them and then found, like, my weed and stuff and confronted me, and I told her it was because I was depressed. I don't even remember the lie I told her, but she bought it, she threw it all away, and that was that. We did not speak of it again. Um, so fast forward, I went to EMT school because I was like, "I don't wanna be a nurse." So I wasted 3 years of my life at college. I didn't wanna be a nurse because that was just too boring. It just was too hard. It didn't match the lifestyle I wanted. So I was like, "I'll just go be an EMT. That's a lot less school. That's exciting enough, and it's doing stuff I like to do." I love the medical profession. Um, got that, started working in Greenwood, and that is when my addiction really took hold. Like, it went downhill pretty quick. I had just gotten engaged to my now ex, and we had just moved in together, and she'd go to bed, and I'd sit up on the couch taking copious amounts of pain pills. Why? I don't know, I wasn't in pain, um, but I loved it. Like, I loved the itchy feeling. Now, thinking about it, I hate it. Like, I can't even stand the thought of it. Um, but I always had an excuse. Like, there was always "Oh, well, my knee hurts, my back hurts, like, I just couldn't sleep," and people bought it. And I don't know if it's because I dressed my life up so well on the outside that they're like, "Okay, well, if there was a problem, she wouldn't have a successful career or be in an apartment, like, and be on her own, per se." I guess I really wasn't on my own, but financially on my own. Um, then I got put back on Ativan. That was because I don't know, this is how I went to the doctor, and I was depressed and anxious, and I just needed drugs. And they wanted me to take, like, daily stuff, right? Like, the healthy stuff, like, stuff people if you really have the issues that I said I had, that you're supposed to take to manage those issues. I didn't want that. I wanted the quick acting, like, I need it now. I don't want the Zoloft once a day, every damn day. I want relief, and I want it very quickly. So, manipulated into that, did I ended up getting it from my gynecologist, y'all. Like, that is, like, it didn't matter what doctor I was at, I would mention my anxiety. Um, it's just so sick. So I started doing that again, and quickly, that wasn't enough. Like, he would give me, like, 60-day supplies, I think, and that'd be gone in, like, 2 weeks, and I'm like, "Crap, I really can't get this refilled for, like, another good long while, like 6 weeks." So then I sought out Xanax again because I know I'm very familiar with that. I love that drug. That is my all-time favorite. Um, Started doing that, and it progressively started creeping its way into every aspect of my life. Um, I remember I was working a really long shift in EMS one night, and my partner, I was like, "I don't know how I'm gonna be able to sleep," because we just run a lot of trauma calls, and, like, I was just wired. My body was exhausted, but I was wired, and I had, like, 16 hours to go. And he was like, "Well, here, I'll just give you Benadryl IM, it'll help you sleep." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I didn't even think about it. I don't think that that thought crossed my mind of like, "Oh, that's great." Um, and then that was a thing. That was off to the races. I haven't ever yet used IV drugs, thank God, but I was quickly headed there. Like, if I could shoot it, like, I tried. I'm not a chemist, but I tried to get Xanax to be something I could shoot up, and it just wasn't working out for me. It was always too thick. Um, but so I started stealing Benadryl from, like, the company I worked for and supplies and all that, and that was probably the best part was, like, getting everything ready. Like, that in itself was a high. And, like, when I was getting sober or clean, however you wanna put it, take away the drugs and that was okay, but, like, what I found myself missing more was the repetitive, like, get everything ready, like, get comfortable, have my snacks laid out, like, that in itself was a ritual to me, and in treatment, you don't have much control, and I'm a control freak, so I lost all control, and I just focused on that, like, I wanted everything to be where it could be, and, like, you know how it is. So anyway, fast forward to February of 20. Yeah, February of 20, and I don't even know, like, the delusion is it's ridiculous. I don't even know what I was thinking looking back at it, but I decided it was a really good idea. Our EMS headquarters was at the very bottom of our courthouse, right? A courthouse where cops are. Mhm. Um, and I decided I was gonna steal our Ativan, or some of not all of it, just some of it, from a place that I know they check daily. It didn't matter, like, I don't know, but I had to feed something inside of me, and I could not tell it no. Um So I did that. I stole the Ativan, and I immediately, when I had it in my car, I was like, "We're fucked. Like, what do we do now?" And I get home and I hide it in my car. Haley, my fiance, she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Nothing. It's just weird. It's a lot at work today." So we're the next day. It's a holiday. I don't even know what holiday, but we're out shopping, and one of my supervisors calls me, and I've got it on speaker. Why? I don't know, because I hid everything else from Haley, and he's like, "Hey, Dakota, can you come up to the courthouse? We've got some drugs missing." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be there in a jiff, like, I'm on my way." And later found out that in that moment, Haley was like, "I knew you knew. I knew that you knew you were caught." And I was like, "Well, I thought me saying like, 'Yeah, I'll be right there,' showed that I wasn't guilty." Like, I thought that meant that I was okay. So I get up there, they're asking me all these questions, and I'm telling them all these lies. They're going through the trash can and shit, and I'm like, "Oh my god," and, like, knowing good and well that I had, like, cut up a Dr. Pepper can to try and pick this lock. I mean, I was YouTubing how to pick a padlock, right? Not a very good thief. Anyway, next day, they want me to come and do an interview with, like, the officer, and I'm sitting there, calm, cool, and collected, innocent, obviously, and they're asking me questions, and eventually, I'll never forget it, Cody Bishop was like, "Dakota, I know you're lying." And I was like, "About what? I'm not lying about anything." And he was like, "I can tell by," and he named all these scientific things off, like my respiration, like my palms are sweaty, and like all this stuff. And I was like, "Okay, I did it." Like I didn't get a lawyer. I didn't because I thought they were like, if you help us, we'll help you. And I believed that, unfortunately. So anyway, fast forward the next day, I turn myself in and get I get 2 felonies that time. And it's like theft of a controlled for substance and safe cracking. Blew my mind. I opened a mini fridge with a padlock, and it in the state of South Carolina, a refrigerated container that is sealed by a lock is considered a safe. That sucks. Um, that sucks really bad. Anyway, these charges are all still pending. So I go to this outpatient treatment. I'm like, this is what they want. I'll just be sober and da 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 da. Get a new job because obviously I got fired. They don't like when you steal from them. I completed the outpatient program. COVID hit right in the middle of this, and I think that was a God thing for me now. Um, I completed it, and I was like, that's awesome. I'm going to go get a massage. I'm going to reward myself. We'll get a massage. But before we do that, I've got to go get 52 Xanax bars because I need to be able to relax. I've done well. I get a treat. Normal people don't, first of all, normal people don't go buy Xanax, but normal people don't treat themselves with 50 of them either. And I never saw it as a problem. Like, even when I came to Willingway, I was still on the fence of if I had a problem. I just didn't like jail at all. Didn't like it. I didn't want to be in any more trouble. I wanted them to leave me alone. I wanted to live my life. So clearly I start using again. And in July of 20, I get 3 more charges with EMS. I don't work there anymore. But it's their fault because they didn't change the code on their volunteer station. And I knew the volunteer code and they should have changed it. That was on them. Anyway, I get a call at work and it's Cody and he wants to talk about that. And I was like, what can we do to make this go away? Like, I was ready to snitch on people. I didn't even know anyone. I go and get 3 more. These were misdemeanors at first when I got charged with them. And later, while I was in treatment, they like upgraded them for free to felonies, like a frequent flyer, I guess, like mileage points or something on a credit card. I don't know. It was really nice of them. I couldn't even get a job at O'Reilly's, y'all. Like, when I got to treatment, I couldn't get a job. I got a job at Papa John's, and then I went to work in an auto shop, and now I'm at another auto shop. But I had to get jobs at like places that were small businesses because anywhere corporate was like, I don't know, you've got burglary and like you've got 5 felonies. They don't even give a shit what they are. There's just 5 felonies. So I ended myself up at Willingway. They told me I was coming for 90 days. That doesn't even exist at Willingway anymore. They just wanted me to get there. Then I'm there for 28 days. I've detoxed in jail for 4 days, and I get there and they're like, we need to put you on detox meds. And I was like, sure, I'll get high again. That's fine. But it wasn't a high. It was, I guess, safe, I guess. My counselor told me she recommended 6 months of extended treatment. And she made the mistake of telling me, or this is all I heard out of her mouth, was she wanted me to because she knew it would help my legal issues. And I was like, okay, well, I'm down with helping my legal issues. Like, that's kind of why I came here. So I guess we might as well do something to help that out because it's looking pretty bad. And I meet with a lady. Never forget it. Paula knocked on my door at Willingway, and she was like, I'm looking for Dakota. And like at Willingway, your name's on the door. And I was like, what's the door say? Yes, it's me. And she's talking and apparently had told me that the program she runs was 12 to 24 months. And I didn't hear that at all. I didn't hear anything. The only thing I heard her say was, well, I will let you know, I'm going to tell your mom you are approved. So you'll be moving and whatever date. And I'm over here like, I don't recall saying I was going to go there. And I just felt like that I would never agreed to go. Like, that kind of just ended up there. I get there on my intake day. I'm like, you got to call my mom because I did not agree to 12 months. And they call my mom and she's on speaker and she tells me no. And I was like, I don't know who talked to this lady, but she's never told me no. I can always manipulate her. And that has been the last time I've manipulated my mom, was like leading up to that point. So I've been in treatment for a good hot minute. I've had another sponsor prior to this one, and that did not end up very well. I didn't know anything about AA, so I was approached while I was in treatment at Willingway, and this person asked to be my sponsor. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm special. I'm getting asked to be a sponsee. I've never heard of that, but I've never heard of AA. So sounds great. That's not how that should look. Yeah, that's not good. So fast forward, we start working the steps, or we work the steps, right? I do a fourth step. I think I had 15, maybe 15 people on my fourth step. And she was like, that's really thorough. Da, 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 da. And like looking at it now, like, no, I just didn't want to tell her anything. Like, I just didn't have that trust with her. Like, I couldn't comfortably get like naked, I guess it's how I'll put it, like emotionally naked with her and tell her, like, these are the people I'm mad at, because I knew my part. Like, I kind of already knew my part. Y'all had been telling me that I had to come up with my part in my four steps. So I was kind of figuring it out. And my part was shitty. So I didn't want to talk about it because that just made me feel shittier. So I just avoided it as if it never happened. Um, that doesn't work out, y'all. I haven't gone back out by the grace of God yet. That's always a possibility. Um, let's see. I go to meetings pretty much daily, unless work or being a productive member of society comes into interference. Like, y'all, I literally go and watch my counselor's grandchildren play sports today. And like, I hated her. I hated her and her daughters when I first got here. They didn't know. They're not us. So you don't know me, you don't know what I'm like, you can't tell me anything about myself. Um, and she has honestly played a very, very vital role in saving my life, because I shouldn't be sitting here. The amount I used, I shouldn't be sitting here at all. I shouldn't have even gotten to go to jail the first time. I should have been done before that. I should have killed somebody. Like, there's so many things that I look back now, and it was a higher power. But when I got here, like, the word God on the wall, mm-mm, it's not gonna work for me. Nope, not today. And in Southern Georgia, like, Lorelai knows because she's here. But like, when you walk into the smokehouse, when you're different than Southern Georgia, you're just like, oh, okay. Like, when I first got here, there were very few gay people in the rooms. Like, there were very few people who would dare disagree with an old timer or tell them that their thought was wrong. I mean, their thought's not wrong. They can have their thoughts, but they're douches, but it's fine. Um, but I've always been that. Like, I will speak my truth in a meeting. I don't like feeling bullied in general in life. That's something I think I've struggled with my whole life, actually. But actually, I want to tell y'all a big important pattern in my life, and it's women. Like, it's bad. It was always best friends growing up, and like, I would find that person or whoever they were, and it didn't necessarily have to be women, I guess, but most of the time it was women. I would find that person, and then like, I wouldn't see anyone else. Like, it was just that person. And that's how it kind of was when I first started like getting sober. Obviously, I just wanted to feel so different. Like, I was sober, y'all took my shit away. I just wanted to feel different. So at Willingway, they were total like sick. We're just sick. There were girls. I loved it. I felt like I was like a little resort. I get to treatment, they cut that off real quick. It's like, okay. Um, and even with like my sponsor at first, like, it became a very codependent relationship, and it just wasn't healthy. Like, I'm all or nothing. It's not, I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at balance. But usually with me, it's I don't like you, or I love you and I'm up your ass kind of stuff. And I mean, that's not good, especially when it's people like us. Like, I cannot just cling to someone else that is just like me, because odds are one of us is going to go back out. And if someone goes back out that I'm like holding on to dear, like for dear life, like, save me, I'm going to use. Like, I don't know. Today, I don't let anyone affect my recovery the way I let people run my life before I got sober. Um, my fiance agreed to move to Georgia. I was like, I can't come home. I just can't do it. I'm not going to stay sober. I know I'm not. And she was on board. And then she wasn't, and I was like, "Okay." And I think that's the first time we've agreed on something in a very long time is we agreed that we just shouldn't be together because it wasn't gonna work for her and it wasn't gonna work for me, you know? So, I don't know. Today, I don't let other people affect my sobriety the way I used to, because no one's gonna do it for me. People are always gonna help me through it, and they're gonna walk me through whatever, but no one can get me sober. I mean, everyone tried for so long. So, trying to think of anything else. Hmm. I think that's it, y'all. I think. Maybe. I think that's it.